My husband undermines my parenting in front of our son. Am I wrong to be upset? I really need some outside perspective on this because I'm starting to feel like I'm going insane in my own house. I'm 41, my husband is 46, and we've been married for 12 years. We have a 12-year-old son together, and every single time I try to parent him, I'm met with resistance, not from my son, but from my husband. Let me give you some background so you understand where I'm coming from. I grew up in a traditional nuclear family. My parents are still together, and my mom was the disciplinarian. I'm naturally strong-willed, and while I don't love being the bad guy, I'll step into that role when it's necessary. Before I met my husband, I was a single mom to my daughter. I was both parents, I disciplined her, but I also spoiled her. I know how to balance both sides. My husband had a completely different upbringing. He was mostly raised by his grandmother and spent some time with his mother, who was abusive both mentally and physically. He was eventually adopted by a member of their church. When we first got together, I thought we were on the same page about parenting. We agreed that kids should stay in a child's place and that we wouldn't involve them in adult conversations or conflicts. But his mindset has completely changed. Now, whenever I try to discipline our son or point out when he's acting out, my husband jumps to his defense. He accuses me of nitpicking or targeting our son. And here's the worst part. He doesn't pull me aside to discuss this privately. No, he does it right in front of our son, completely undermining my authority. The specific incident that pushed me to write this happened yesterday. My son and husband hardly ever listen to me. I find myself repeating things over and over again. I told my son twice that we were out of ketchup. Once when I got home from the store, and again at the dinner table. He acknowledged it both times. So today, my son comes home from school and decides to make himself a snack. He pulls out a bag of chicken nuggets from the freezer, puts a whole plate full in the oven, and cooks them. Once they're done, he starts looking for the ketchup. I kindly remind him for the third time that I forgot to buy it at the store. Now, a little context here, this kid eats his hot dogs, hamburgers, and sandwiches completely plain and dry. Eating ketchup with nuggets is something he literally just started doing in the past 4 weeks. So I told him that since he made the nuggets, he needed to eat them. I also mentioned that dinner was coming up soon, so he should eat them quickly, so he wouldn't spoil his appetite. I hate wasting food. More specifically, I hate wasting money. As the person who buys all the groceries in this house, it's incredibly frustrating to watch food go to waste. Well, about 30 minutes goes by, and he hasn't touched his plate. He's just sitting there waiting for ketchup that we don't have. Then my husband walks in. Without even asking what happened, he immediately jumps on me. He says I'm in the wrong, and that he'll not allow me to force our son to eat anything. He brings up how he was forced to eat things as a child that made him physically ill, and I get that. I really do. But here's the thing, if I had prepared a meal and I knew he couldn't stand it, I would never force him to eat it. There's really nothing we cook that he can't stand, except dairy and eggs because of allergies, and mashed potatoes because he just doesn't like them. But this wasn't a meal I prepared. My son pulled the bag out of the freezer himself, put the nuggets on a plate, and cooked them. So now we're sitting here with a full plate of nuggets that have been out for over an hour. I'm about to start making dinner, and both my husband and son expect me to just be in this amazing mood like nothing happened. Am I really wrong for setting clear expectations and being upset that I'm not allowed to follow through with consequences?